And you know what? I've had people teach me. I had people come over and teach me and say, no. And earlier, I was giving a lot of my money away to some of the brain damaged fighters and some of the wrestlers that were doing no good. And I was hoping the sponsors go over and do that. And it was great. And you know what? Mirko Cro Cop came over and said, Bob, that's enough with that now. He said, now you've been doing that for too many years, and you're getting ready to do it to where it's going to hurt you in the future because you're giving too much money away. Because by then I had already given like over $250,000 over to the people here in Japan. Wow. So he was nice to come over and grab me in private when he was over there, and grab me over and talk to me and said, hey, listen, Bob, you're doing wonderful. You know, he says, Bob, I know you. He says, Bob, I know all about you and where you went to college and all of that stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're kind of getting a little bit ahead of yourself with this stuff here. So knock it off. Go back in here, train real hard. My training is open to you. We'll fly you to me. We'll do this. And you know what? And that was great. And guess what? It was far from him, just him. I had Eric Paulson that came over there that did it. We had, oh my goodness. You know, now I have Nogueira's over there, his camp, or his, what I'd say, his people down there over in Brazil that opened up to do it. I mean, you know, I had one camp over here in Japan that opened up to do it. And all of them said, okay, Bob, that's good. Let's get it down and dirty and get some things done. Now, I really felt super bad because I really did this Legends event. I really did want to come out and really showboat and really have a great time with it. And the only problem was, you know, and you know, you're gonna run with this sometimes. And you know, hey, you know, I filmed 5 commercials in 10 days. You know, that's what it is. 5 commercials in 10 days. And you know what? I'm happy that I filmed every single one of them because all of them give you 5 to 10 times more money than a single fight. So guess what? I did everything and got everything. So, you know, you can sit back and be upset. And, oh, well, this person's so good, he earns my respect. Earning your respect and all that stuff, you're unable to bank ego. So leave those fans alone when they're talking about earning respect to whatever. They are doing their own thing for their families and stuff. You've got to be able to provide for your families and to provide for yourselves.
Exactly. Now, yeah, sorry, I took a look at the clock. Thank you. I'm sorry that we're going so long here, Bob, but it's actually just fascinating talking to you. They'll kill me if I don't let them have their chance to ask you some questions, Bob. We do have Ninja and then Jake. Ninja, you're on with Bob Sapp, the living legend himself in his own right. What do you got, Ninja? Are you there?
Yeah, what's up, Bob? Good to talk to you again, brother. Something we talked about the other day was your theory that it's almost better to lose. And I know you touched on it a little bit. We talked about Anderson Silva and Fedor, and I used to be one of those guys that no way would a guy take a dive. But after listening to you, I'm like, I mean, that's kind of smart. You know what I mean? So can you touch on that a little bit, like we talked about the other day?
Okay, and I believe, Ninja, what you're talking about. And then there's two reasons as to why some fights no longer look like what you would think that they would look like. How's that? So they both go in there to be combatants. However, one, because you do get injured, if you get injured, your money has to be paid with your fight purse. Who wants to get injured at all? So it starts to talk about people, you know, dancing around and you know, making sure that they hardly get any damage or going the distance. And then the second thing is when you do have a fighter that's going in there, you know, that's like, oh, well, gosh, he's ready to get his guts and glory and go in there and fight real hard. Well, when you fight real hard against a real hard-time opponent, what's going to happen next? They're going to want an even harder opponent for you.
Right.
So, the companies, you know, guys, because the haters are all watching on YouTube, and Ariel Helwani's just doubting everybody and doubting them. So, hey, you're just going to get a harder guy with less cash. And it's going to go on, and it's going to go on, and it's going to go on. And so, I mean, go right on ahead and do it if you'd like to. You can also, so there's a number of different factors. Now, there was several factors, but that's two of the factors. So one, your injuries is paid for with your fight purse. And second, if you are dominant, hey, being dominant can just put you into a realm where somebody is actually going to you're going to get a harder and harder and harder and harder and harder guy. And also, there's also another thing as to if you win a lot all the time, pretty soon people start wanting to kind of see an underdog beat that person. That kind of happened in Fedor's example. It was, Fedor is so great. Let's all watch us beat Fedor. Let's all hope somebody beats Fedor. And then when somebody did beat Fedor, it was like, well, see, we saw that he's beatable. So I'll see you later. And then they just kicked him out.
Right.
And then he's gone. And it was just like, and that's got to be some of the most horrible, despicable, most disgusting things out there. And I mean, it's crazy. It's all based on this ego and the hate designed by the record.
These people, sorry to interrupt. These people, like these fighters that have these wars, these knockdown, drag out, like rock'em sock'em wars. I've always wondered they're not getting that much money. They know they're taking brain damage. Is it all ego? And how do they even keep going? Like, honestly, like, how are their hands not breaking left and right? How are they not getting, like, knocked out immediately? Like, I know what it's like to get punched in the face. I know what it's like to hit something in the face. These people are, like, fighting, and you find out afterwards they're so fucked up from these battles. Like, they have injuries left and right, broken hands, but during the fight, they keep going for some reason. Is that ego, or is there some other trick to it, Bob?
Oh, there's a couple tricks you got to it. You got a couple of tricks to play into just the entertainment aspect of it. Okay, so I mean, one entertainment aspect of it is that I've talked about this briefly. You guys, it used to be tattoos to make you look tough, and now all of a sudden it's been the cauliflower ear to make you look tough. Well. They are manufacturing cauliflower ear. So they have gyms now. They have gyms, and the guys are laying down, and they're manufacturing cauliflower ears to make it look tough. Okay, so, seriously, I mean, and it's like, seriously, you guys have no idea. And it just makes me laugh, And it's okay because, remember, we're talking about ignorance here, which is just a lack of education. Because it's very easy to forget. You look at Ariel. What Ariel says, he says, I really care about the guys who put their blood, sweat, and tears in the ring. Now, he totally forgets, I got my eye socket crushed in the ring by Mirko Cro Cop. I almost lost my eye, and here's a guy that's saying, because you can still see, I have no respect for you. But meanwhile, he's done nothing. He's never got into the ring himself at all. And he's using Wikipedia and an iPad just to make himself look cool. I mean, give me a break. This stuff is real bad. And all we've got to do, one thing that everybody needs to do to say to this stuff, to stop this stuff, is say, look, these guys are over here, they battled it out. Hey, you've got, and talk about it like it is a sport. Things will get a little bit better. But right now, I mean, seriously, can you believe 6 months to 8 months of having to rest for your own well-being simply because you gave it your all? Now, which do you want to be? The guy who's resting for giving it his well-being, or the guy who lost his brain?
Calling back himself, thank God. Hey, Bob, we might have lost you. Are you there, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about it. It's the year 2013, and of course they still can't figure out this phone shit, dude. It's ridiculous. I'm not sure at what point we lost you, but I just want to ask, what actually was, did you start fighting MMA knowing the truth about the business, or was there a point where you just got Was there like a scare moment where you got injured and you were like, man, I have to do this smart now, or maybe a business manager? What happened?
That's a really good question. You know what, and I'm going to tell you, you're the smartest guy in the world thus far who's ever asked me that reason.
Definitely.
In that question, and I will answer that for you. Okay? Do you remember when I was like 10-2, 10-1, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what? It was just the damnedest thing, but there was no more fight offers coming my way. Zero. And you know what that means to me? Zero cash. Zero. Can you believe that?
Nobody wanted to fight you.
Oh, my goodness. But you know what? Well, let's just say since I lost last year, I made 1.5. Now, who do you want to beat? Because the other guy that was around me, he was the champion. He made 40 this whole year. I made 1.5. You tell me. Who's the loser?
Yep. Yeah, you make more than someone starting off in the UFC, the top organization, so to speak. You make more than someone starting off in that.
Hey! I'm at 1.5, and I am flying first class in business class.
And you're not getting your head bashed in just for for the fans.
Look, it's like this. Do you think you can go to a car dealership with $1 and say, "Hey, I want a Mercedes car"? I mean, come on, and just say, "Well, hey, I respect you more if you give me the car." I mean, it's so stupid. Nobody practices this ego stuff that they do in MMA. No one practices that stuff, okay? And so I am a business. I am a business. If they want to get these hardcore Nogueira fights and all this other stuff, Pride was paying you $200,000, $100,000, $75,000. Do that then. No one's, so if you think, you're going to get it for this 40 grand, I tell you right now, fighting twice a year, I mean, how come no one's doing the math? If you fight 2 times a year for UFC, look at Bob's loss record. The chances are you're never even going to last long enough in UFC, let alone to see the losses or the loss record Bob's got. Mm-hmm. I mean, twice a year? Come on.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And the best part about being like a real, like, I mean, you're realistic about your profession. The best part has got to be nobody can cut you. Nobody can cut you, and despite your losses, and you're still making money. That's in the UFC fighters, man. It's either you put it all on the line, you give the fans a war, you live to fight another day for low money, or you're cut. But you, man, nobody can cut you.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Hang on. Do you have to be cut to be cut? No, because remember, you can still be there and you can sit your ass on the shelf for another year and a half to whatever, and that's getting no money at all. So that's the same thing as being cut, because you've got to divide your fight purse over those months of giving no revenue. So that's the truth. So either way, it's a losing battle. That's 1 year of no money, bro. Of none to feed your kids to whatever. That's no joke.